Imagine a world where every device needed a different cable. One cable for your keyboard, another for your printer, another for your camera, and another for your phone. Then one invention changed everything forever. USB. From old printer cables to modern Type-C fast charging, this tiny connector became the backbone of technology. But how did USB begin? What was the very first USB? Why did micro USB dominate phones for years? And how did Lightning and Type-C completely change the game? Today, we're breaking down the full evolution of USB. USB stands for Universal Serial Bus. USB was officially introduced in 1996. Before USB existed, computers were messy. You had separate keyboard ports, separate mouse ports, huge printer connectors, camera cables, serial ports, parallel ports. Everything was confusing and slow. So companies like Intel, Microsoft, IBM, Compaq worked together to create one universal connection system. Their goal was simple: one cable standard for everything. And that idea changed technology forever. The very first version was USB 1.0, released in 1996. Speed 1.5 megabits per second, up to 12 megabits per second. At the time, this was revolutionary. You could plug in a device and the computer would recognize it automatically. That feature became known as plug and play. But USB 1.0 had problems. Very slow speeds, limited support, few compatible devices, so it didn't become instantly popular.
In 1998, USB 1.1 arrived. This version was more stable and reliable. Suddenly, USB keyboards, USB mice, USB speakers started becoming common. Apple helped push USB into the mainstream when it removed older ports from its computers. That decision forced the industry to move toward USB. Before wireless printers existed, printer cables were everywhere. Most printers used USB Type-B. This connector looked square-shaped and bulky. It became the standard cable for printers, scanners, fax machines, large office equipment. One side connected to the printer, the other side connected to the computer using USB Type-A. For years, this was the official printer cable used around the world. Even today, many printers still use USB-B. Before smartphones took over, digital cameras ruled the tech world. And many of those devices used Mini USB. Mini USB became popular in the early 2000s. It was commonly found in digital cameras, MP3 players, GPS devices, early handheld gadgets. Compared to older connectors, Mini USB was smaller and more convenient. At the time, it felt futuristic. But technology kept shrinking, and Mini USB was eventually replaced. Then came one of the most important cables ever made, Micro USB. This connector completely dominated the smartphone world. From around 2010 to the late 2010s, almost every Android phone used Micro USB. It was found in smartphones, power banks, Bluetooth speakers, wireless headphones, cameras, gaming controllers. Micro USB became the universal charging cable for mobile devices. But it had one major problem. You could only plug it in one direction. Everyone remembers flipping the cable 3 times before it finally worked. It also had slower charging and slower data transfer compared to modern standards. Still, Micro USB ruled the world for years. In 2012, Apple introduced something new, Lightning cable. It replaced Apple's old 30-pin connector. The Lightning cable was smaller, faster, reversible, and for the first time, users could plug the cable in either direction. That simple idea changed user expectations forever. Lightning became famous with iPhones, iPads, AirPods accessories. For years, Apple used Lightning, while Android phones continued using Micro USB. But Lightning also inspired the industry to move toward a universal connector, USB Type-C. Around 2014, the tech world introduced USB Type-C, and this changed everything. Type-C was reversible, faster, more powerful, more compact. Unlike older cables, Type-C could charge phones, transfer massive files, connect monitors, power laptops, deliver video output, all with one cable. Today, Type-C is used in Android phones, modern iPhones, tablets, gaming devices, MacBooks, Windows laptops. It became the new universal standard. As USB evolved, charging speeds exploded. USB 2.0, speed 480 megabits per second. USB 3.0, speed 5 gigabits per second. USB 3.1, 10 gigabits per second. USB 3.2, 20 gigabits per second. USB 4, up to 40 gigabits per second. Modern USB Type-C cables now support fast charging, 4K and 8K video, external GPUs, high-speed SSDs. Some chargers now deliver 45 watt, 65 watt, 100 watt, or even more. USB transformed from a simple connector into a super-powered technology system. From giant printer cables to tiny smartphone chargers. From slow USB 1.0 to ultra-fast Type-C and USB 4. USB completely transformed modern technology. One universal idea connected the entire world. And the craziest part? Almost everyone uses USB every single day, without even thinking about it. So, which USB cable do you still use the most? Micro USB, Lightning, or Type-C? Comment below. And don't forget to subscribe for more tech history